Hello friends, welcome to our second Manly Man tumbler design. In this video, we're going to remake my football split tumbler, but we're going to, of course, make it a little bit more masculine, and we're going to change up the layout and the steps that we take for the football split. So for the top portion of the tumbler, we're going to actually do a vinyl wrap. This vinyl is from the vinyl Cottage, and it's a football like textured vinyl. So on this cup, instead of doing a vertical split like I did with my glitter design, we're going to do a top and bottom 50-50 split. Of course, if you want to do it the other way, you absolutely can. The design will work either way, but I wanted to just kind of change it up for this one. So I'm going to cut that football vinyl in half, and then I'm going to apply it to the top half of my tumbler. I'm using a 32-ounce plump here from the Tipsy Magnolia, and I did not measure my halves. I just kind of eyeballed it. The measurements really don't matter. It's gonna look like a 50-50 split, and even if it doesn't, it's okay. You can do, if you want to do more grass, you can. If you want to do more of this football, you can. Just make it your own and do whatever you think looks best. So I lined up my vinyl around my cup with the backing still on, making sure everything would come together straightly. And then I taped down one edge of the vinyl. Now I'm going to start to remove that backing and push the vinyl onto the tumbler. I'm going to use my felt edge squeegee as always to help me push the vinyl onto the cup, which will prevent bubbles and wrinkling and all of that stuff that you can sometimes get when you do a vinyl wrap. I'm going to cut the excess vinyl off with my signature wavy line cut here. This just helps, in my opinion, camouflage the seam a little bit further. If you don't want to cut the excess vinyl off, you probably don't even have to. I just didn't want to have too much bulk on my tumbler that wasn't necessary. Then I'll go up with my craft knife and cut off all of this excess vinyl from the top rim, and then we can move on to the bottom of our tumbler. So for the bottom, we are going to do our grass, and I'm going to use alcohol inks to create a grassy kind of texture. Now in the glitter version, of course, I used just green glitter to create my grass, but I didn't want to use glitter on this tumbler, so I'm going to use alcohol inks. Now, of course, there are a ton of different ways that you can create a grass effect. You can use patterned vinyl, you can use dill, like the seasoning or the herb or whatever, dill. I did not want to do that because I thought that I would not be successful. It would just be really messy, and I wanted to do something different, so I'm going to use alcohol ink. I had grabbed 4 different green tones of alcohol ink that I was going to try to use on this tumbler, but the one that I ended up using all over the bottom was Beetlejuice from Jenn's Crafted Gems. It's just like a true regular old green. I thought that if I layered and kind of mixed all of the different greens together, it would look really cool, but it didn't look the way that I wanted it to, so I decided to just use the one green all over the bottom. And to apply it, I'm using a paper towel. I am wearing gloves because I don't want green alcohol ink all over my hands. And I'm just going to, as you can see, dab it all over the bottom of the tumbler. And that's going to give us a really cool kind of grassy look. I let this alcohol ink on the bottom of my tumbler dry overnight, and then I added 1 coat of epoxy to my tumbler. I used the Flynn Sisters Supply Shop Fast Cure epoxy, and my coat was about 30 milliliters. So now I'm ready to go in and add all of my vinyl detailing. I'm going to start out with a pretty thin stripe of this gold textured metallic vinyl. This is from TECKWRAP Craft, I believe. And I'm going to put that right in the middle of our tumbler where our vinyl and our alcohol ink sections meet. And then after that, I'm going to take a little bit of a thicker line or strip of white vinyl, and we are going to apply that right under that gold line so that we can apply our yard lines to the grassy area. Now I measured around my cup so I could get the proper width around, and then when I cut out my yard lines, I made the length or the width of that decal the same as the width around my tumbler, so that when I wrap this around my cup, everything will meet up perfectly and we won't have a big gap or any overlap. I would recommend measuring after your epoxy, obviously, because your cup will be thicker after epoxy. So measure right before you cut this out, and then you should be good to go. So what I did was apply my transfer tape, and then I cut with my paper cutter a straight edge on the top of the yard lines so that I can use that as a guide to line the yard lines up with that white line of vinyl that we just put down. And now I can apply the vinyl to the tumbler. So as you can see here, I'm just going section by section, pulling the vinyl, backing away little by little, making sure that everything stays really nice and straight and lined up. Now that I've got the yard lines on, I can add my decal to the top of the tumbler. Now you can use literally any kind of decal you want. If you want to do a sports team, if you want to do like a coach or name or anything you want, this design will allow you to do any sort of decal that you want. So I decided to do just a generic football decal. I got this SPG on Etsy and I cut it out in a couple different layers. So we're going to do a green chrome offset, and then I've got some gold and some white. The decal says touchdown season, which I thought was nice and generic for any man to use. So I cut the offset out, like I said, in the green chrome, and then I did the wording of the decal in the gold textured metallic, the same vinyl that we used for that strip around the middle. And then we've got some X's and O's like play drawing up around the decal, and I cut that out in white. So now I'm just going to layer all of my vinyl on the cup the same way I do with all of my other decals. After all my vinyl was applied, I added my final 2 coats of epoxy, and that is it for this design. We are all done. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. This is definitely a super simple design that you can get done quickly. I had a lot of fun putting this together, although it was very hard for me not to use glitter on the tumbler. Anyway, let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up down below, and make sure you're subscribed to my channel if you are not already so you don't miss any of my new videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for another Manly Man tumbler design. Okay, see you then. Love you. Bye. Hello friends! Thanks so much for watching this video. I want to say a huge special thank you to my elite fam, my channel members, and my subscribers. You all make this channel possible, so thank you so much for being part of the fam. If you want more exclusive content from me, you can join my elite fam at patreon.com/elitefam. You can find my tumblers and digital files on my website madebymalstudio.com. And if you'd like to follow me on social media, you can find me on Instagram at madebymal_studio. Here's another video for you to check out, and I'll see you soon. Thanks so much for watching. Love you. Bye.